In the past 9 months, I've spent more than 1,000 hours coding, and I've actually dictated almost 1 million words into AI agents that have helped me build some products and software that make my life a lot easier. So in this video, I'm going to show you a system that does two main things. It creates a true two-way contact sync between your phone and your CRM. And the second thing it does is it gives me an AI agent that listens to all my conversations, reads my text messages, and it recommends activities that I need to do. And by the way, it can actually do a lot of that stuff too, such as sending texts, emails, calendar reminders, all sorts of things. And every recommendation is contextual. So it like looks at the contact record, sees where I'm at, what the last notes were, what we've been talking about, and then it'll say, hey, you forgot about this. You promised that you were going to send them an email next Friday. You promised that you were going to send them a calendar invite. You didn't do that. Do you want me to do that? And then I say, yes, I want you to do X, Y, Z, and it does it. So this for me saves me an enormous amount of time. Like 80% of the friction of using my database and kind of keeping track of things is now gone. I've been able to figure that over the past year. So I'm going to walk you through it now. All right, so I'm going to draw this out for you now, and we're going to speed through it. All right, so I finished the diagram. I might have did a little skip there because I knocked the camera down. So I'm going to explain again my personal setup. This is me having two different businesses. One is the voice closer business, and the other one is my real estate business, and like which includes most of my personal contacts. And this is how I sync both of them separately, and they stay separate. Their CRM accounts stay separate. Everything still ends up on my phone. Okay, so got my phone over here. I've got both my Google contacts, which essentially they sync every 5 minutes with my little function helper, and everything goes, I have a function, which I'll explain how it works in a second. This is really kind of like the workhorse that makes sure everything works properly. Okay. When you have like a native CRM sync, it either syncs one way or either like if it syncs two-way, most of the time the fields just don't get matched up. Phone numbers might get messed up. You might have like a +1 in front of your phone number on this side and not on the other side, and your data just gets messed up over time, and it becomes a huge headache to undo this by yourself. So what I want you to picture this function is, it's like an assistant. If you had someone sitting in front of two computer screens, one was your CRM, one was your Google account, and it would always kind of like look at things and make sure that things match and double check everything when data gets moved from one to another. That's all this does. It transforms data, fixes mistakes, prevents duplicates. Okay. And it takes the voice closer contacts and opportunity and whatever, and it sends that to the voice closer CRM account, and vice versa for my RX personal contacts. So the benefits are it logs all the changes. It doesn't really make mistakes. It has an infinite history, by the way. So when I say logs changes, if I wipe my database tomorrow and wipe my phone tomorrow, this function has all the history. It costs no money to do that. Okay. Also, no more adding context directly to the CRM. This is like the biggest friction point, which nobody does. I've talked to thousands of people building my last app, building CRM Buddy, and everybody hates typing things into their database. So you don't do that anymore when you have this system. All the accounts are separate, and you're never surprised by a call from someone who's in your CRM again. So if you have like a team or something, and you have other people adding, contacts to your CRM, and you're part of the process where they might call you or you're the main person. When everything's synced, you don't have that problem anymore where I called a list of 400 people and one of them called me back. And who is this? And I don't want to pick up the phone because of that. Big deal. So that's how my CRM sync works. I'm going to go into part two now. All right, so now we're going to draw out step two, speed fashion. Okay, so we have step two, which is really, this is like by far the more important part of how the system works. Okay. A couple of notes. I have a business phone line, and until about a month ago, for the past 3 or 4 years, I had a second cell phone. So I actually was paying, the fees ended up being like, it was crazy. It was like $100 something a month for the second cell phone. I didn't really realize it was costing me that much money, and I just shut it off, and I took that and I moved it to just a virtual line. So it cost me literally like $2 per month to have this line without any usage. Okay. So this system works very well if you want to get yourself a second phone number. And then that phone number, you can tie it to your CRM. That's a whole separate video, but essentially all my texts and calls from my phone number go to the CRM. Okay. So every one of my calls and texts, they go to the AI agent. All right. The AI agent could do a whole plethora of things, whether it's automatic or whether it's just like checking you and making suggestions. So it can update your contacts, notes, tasks, opportunities, and appointments. I'm going to give you an example of this at the end, okay? I have mine send me Gmail suggestions for the stuff that's like too sensitive or the stuff that it needs clarification for, okay? And it doesn't have to be just you. You can have this scheduled and sent to any one of your team members. And this can really get crazy if you have an agent that's kind of helping funnel conversations and actions to different people, all right? And lastly, it can handle comms, like I just mentioned. I don't have it do this. I don't have it actually send emails to people. I just have it drafted. But you can actually have certain things automatically sent to people, right? So I wouldn't go that far without testing this and making sure it can mimic your voice. But you can really go the whole way and have the agent actually text and have like full conversations with people, depending on what CRM you're using. All right. Um, this removes literally 80% of the friction of you using your database, and the agent can draft stuff in your voice. You just give it examples, and over maybe a week period, you can really have an agent kind of learn your voice and the way you punctuate things and how you say and not say things. It can do it pretty well. So to give you an example, when I talk with people from Voice Closer, for example, like I had someone the other day that was referring me to, a doctor's office that may have needed to use voice closers. So like, what you know, I'm going to tell you what I manually did with the agent, but you can have it automatically do this too. I just told my agent, like, hey, I need you to update this person's contact record. I didn't have his email right. So I had my agent update something in my database. It made a note that this guy was referring me to somebody. It created a task for me to check back in with that guy in a week once he talked the referral. I had him create an opportunity with the other person's name on it, and it automatically named the opportunity based on how I name it, which is like the state, the zip code, and then what type of business it is. It did it automatically. And then I actually set an appointment with that gentleman for me and him to speak with somebody else. So it did all five of those things without me ever even looking in or touching my CRM. Okay. And had it had any questions about all that in this system, again, you can have it make suggestions. You can have it email you its suggestions and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about adding a task and saying this for the node in XYZ. Is that okay? Or do you want to have any changes made? And you just reply to the email and you say, yes, that's okay. Go for it. Or do this and do that, and it'll do it. You can have like just have an email conversation with it. It's just like having an assistant, basically. All right, so that's the system in a nutshell. There's more to it, and if you're interested in having something like this built for your business, comment the word chief and I'll send you a DM.